Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I have Anne and Dayna this morning, and I think, can everybody see everyone? 1 second now. There we go, I'm going back a little bit here. So now, and there we can see Anne as well. Now, so we're going to do our usual, which is move slow, go with the breath, always about the breath, keep checking your alignment, and come on in, Jeanette. There's Jeanette. So,
Would you like to match Jeanette?
Yeah,
okay.
If you'd like to join us, Jeanette, you're more than welcome.
My exercise is in now, I walk.
So yeah, the whole world is doing exercise at the moment. It keeps us good and healthy for the times that we're in. So this morning we're going to start off on the mat, and the usual thing, concentrate as much as you can on the breath. It's the breathing that warms our body up and gets everything going, clears our mind. And while you're moving and while you're breathing, keep concentrating on what you're doing. Don't let your mind wander off and what you have to get done for the day. Just keep it simple, and keep thinking about what it is you're actually doing on the mat. The mat is your time to think about yourself. It's all about Dayna. It's all about me when we're on the mat. So, okay, we're going to actually start off this morning in a seated position, and we're going to start breathing. So we'll all grab a cushion or 2 cushions if you want. Or if you don't want a cushion, you don't have to have a cushion. So, okay, so nice cross-legged position. Again, I know I'm always repeating myself, but don't sit in any position that's not comfortable. Yoga is all about comfort, and it's all about the breath. The breath will do everything from heating you up to getting your body regulated, clearing your head, clearing your sinuses, headaches, stomach issues, all of that kind of thing. It just helps with everything. So feet out in front if you want that, and cross-legged if that helps. The reason we use cushions is to try and make sure that our hips are nice and even and that we're not straining anything. So it's all about not straining. Okay, so here we go. So we're just going to think about our alignment. Our back is nice and straight. Our head is over our shoulders and parallel with the floor, and in a nice relaxed position. And we're going to start breathing here, and we're going to take nice breaths now. And your breath can stagger, morning on you. So if your breath staggers, that's okay, but eventually what you want to work on is just having a nice clean breath coming in and a nice clean breath coming out. And we're going to breathe in through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Again, if you can't breathe in and out through the nose, breathe in and out through the mouth. So here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so we're going to start introducing the arms and the hands up. So as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in and up. So breathe in, up. Hands up over the head, and breathe out. Hands down in front. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Try and breathe up as much and straighten the back as much as possible, and then breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Okay, we're going to take our right hand onto our left knee, and we're going to do a little small twist over to the right, over to the left hand side. And take a breath here. And back to center, and then left hand to right knee, and we're going to take a little twist to the right, and nice breaths. Okay, so we're going to go up onto all fours now. And we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow again. Nice easing ourselves into it. Again, legs and hips nicely aligned, one over the other. Our arms stacked over our shoulders, and again, that's the correct alignment. And at the moment, we probably our tailbone is tucked in, bum not too far up and or not too far down. But when we go into cat-cow, it'll go down and it'll go up. Whatever way your hips are comfortable. And also, when we're doing this movement, I don't want you to just barely move with it as well. If it feels comfortable to stretch yourself out, do that, because it gets the blood moving and the breath heating you up even more. So here we go. We're going to start off by breathing in and bringing the head and the bum up. So breathe in. And then down into cat and breathe out. Nice. Get rid of as much breath out of the body as possible. And move with it. And get rid of all that stale air in your lungs, and then get nice clean air in. Breathe in and up. And breathe out. Now we're going to keep breathing in and breathing out, and do it at your own pace here, okay? So everyone do their own thing where their breath feels good and their movement feels good. So. Okay, so we're going to start raising the right leg with that. Raise the right leg. Breathe in and up. And then bring the right leg to nose. Breathe. And breathe out. This is not just working the legs, it's working the core, it's working all the muscles and the bum muscles, and heating up the whole body. Hands nice and planted into the ground. And then we're going to go to the left leg. And breathe in and up. And out. Try to keep those hips nice and level. Okay, so now back down onto all fours. Okay, so here we're going to push into our downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the day. So enjoy your downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to pedal this out. Pedal it out and breathe. And feel, where you feel your discomfort. Feel the discomfort and breathe into it. And try to make as much space in the body here as possible. Pop that bum up into the air. Keep the back as straight as possible. But keep the head and neck nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed there. And we're going to go back down onto all fours again. Okay, so I always like to do a little bit of yoga for the toes because it's our feet that walk us around every day. So we need to be kind to our feet. So stretch out those toes, up against toes. Now this can be tough on the toes, can be tough to sit up like this. So we come back down and out of it, and then we go back into it, and we keep breathing with it. So come out and go into it as many times as you need to, and then feel the stretch in the toes. Very uncomfortable. This is a very uncomfortable pose for me. I don't know, I have very stiff toes. Okay, and a little bit of movement as well if you want to, side to side or whatever. And we're breathing the whole time, because it's going to really generate loads of heat, and it's the heat what really gets those muscles and nice and toned and clears the mind as well. Okay, so back down onto the feet, and a breath here. Back onto those toes. They mightn't be thanking you now, but they'll thank you later. There we go. And back down. Okay, so back onto all fours and back into our downward facing dog. And then from here, we're going to do our leg up again. Our right leg up. Create loads of space and bring the right leg up into the air. And pretend that leg is pressed against the wall, so you're activating the legs. Now we're going to straighten the leg out. Point that toe. Point. And I shake all over the place here, so that's okay. You can shake as much as you want. There we go. And we'll bring it down. And we'll pedal out for a second, and then we're going to use the left leg and take loads of breaths with this. And breathe in and out. Left leg up. Okay, here we go. Now, pretend that leg is pressed against the wall. Activate those legs. Hips nice and low. They're not stacked on top of each other. They're aligned. Nice and aligned. You can stack your hips. People do, but that's a different pose. We're going in for more beginners. And also, actually, it can be quite a tough one to keep the hips nice and aligned. We're inclined to just, throw the body to the side, but we don't want to do that. We want loads of control here. Okay, so breathe in and out. Okay, so my clothes are falling off and I need to fix myself up just in case my belly is hanging out. It'd be so embarrassing. Okay, so there we go. I'm brave, but I'm not that brave. I don't want to shock everyone at home. Now, okay, so we're going to go back down into downward facing dog. I'm already getting warm now, really warm. And, yeah. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our feet to our hands, nice and slow. Walk them up, jump them up, whatever you want to do. I like to go nice and slow. Here we go. Feet to hands. Now, and we're going to take a moment here and feel that initial, like you feel the blood going to your head. You can feel right up the backs of the legs. You can bend your legs here. Bend your legs because it's the same thing. You're always maybe looking to straighten the legs, but don't push yourself into anything. It has an adverse effect. It's not good. So we'll look at our toes while we're here. Toes nice and wide apart, if we can get them nice and wide apart. Okay, and I'm always doing a little bit of movement because I'm stiff as a poke in the morning. So there we go. And we're going to do a halfway lift, and we're going to look up in front of us and take a breath. And then back down. And there we go. Now we're going to roll the body nice and slow up. Roll the body up. Okay, so I have to take off my jumper. Okay. So here we go. Do you want to send? You can send a text there if you need to send a little text. Yeah. Okay, so now here we're going to come on in, lads. Come on in. So here we're going to breathe up. Come on in. We're going to take our breath and we're going to breathe up into the air, and we're going to take our hands up into the air, and then we're going to fold forward from the hips. Here we go. Now, and then we're going to do a little halfway lift. Look up in front of us and down. Okay, So, hands to the floor and take those feet back. Now, and into chin to mat. Down we go, and up we go. And breathe, breathe, breathe. And into downward facing dog. Okay, so now we're going to take, because we're warmed up, we're going to introduce our warrior poses, because we've warmed up nicely already. So, right leg between the hands, and we're going to breathe up. Okay, so warrior one, hips aligned with the front of the mat, nice and aligned. When we go to the side, this is our warrior two. That's a different pose. We're staying in warrior one, and we're going to spread out the fingers while we're here, because that activates the arms as well. So the arms nice and everything's working, and you're trying to create space in the body, and reach, 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 reach. Okay, so we'll take it down, and right leg back. Chin to mat again, and take it up. And into downward facing dog. Okay. Now we're not sticking in our planks at the moment. We'll pop them in a moment when we get a little bit warmer. Okay, so left leg in between the hands. And breathe in and up. Okay, so here we go. Breathe. Open out the fingers. Activate those arms. Create as much space as you can. Try and keep the shoulders though away from the ears. I'm not great at that sometimes. I find that's my stiffest part. My shoulders are very stiff. So here we go. Take a breath. Feel your core working as well here. You're holding the stomach in order to keep yourself up. Okay, so back down to the mat. Take the left leg back. And now we're going to just go into our plank for a moment. Okay, and we're going to slowly move down, chin to mat, and up into upward facing dog, and down into downward facing dog. Okay, so enjoy the downward facing dog. This is our resting pose. Relax the head, pop the bum in the air, as much space in the body. We're always trying to create space. And breathe. Okay, so feet to hands. Okay. And then we're going to go halfway lift. Look up in front and back down. Okay. And then we're going to roll the body up and bring our hands up over our head. And we're going to keep going here because we're on a roll. And fold forward from the hips. And then we're going to do a halfway lift. Look up, take a breath, back down. Hands to mat, right leg back, left leg back into our plank. Okay, so no saggy planks here, lads. And we're going to take our chin to the mat. Down we go and into upward facing dog. And take a breath. And downward facing dog. Okay. Right leg between the hands. And breathe in and up.
Okay, hands going all over top.
And you probably take off the sockies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to keep a good grip if you have the socks on. There we go. Hands up. Okay, and then we go down and take the leg back into plank. Hold it for a moment. Then slowly take the chin to the mat. And up into upward facing dog. And down into downward facing dog. Pick up the socks. Yeah, it's the socks. Yeah. You have loads of grip. Downward facing dog. And then we're going to take the left leg in between the hands and take a breath in as we go up. Up we go. And as I said, hips nice and aligned to the front of the mat, and create loads of space. There we go. And down we go again. Take the left leg back into plank again, and down into chaturanga, and up into upward facing dog. Nice, and we're very careful in what we do here. And down into downward facing dog. Okay. So there we go. And we're pedaling it out. And we're going to take feet to hands. Feet to hands. I think actually my mat is, I think probably none of us are on the camera at the moment, but anyway. There we go. And then we're going to keep going, lads, because we've only got maybe one more of these to go, and then we're going to do our cool down. We're going to do one little balance pose, and then we're finished. The time is flying. Okay, so breathe in and up. Okay, and fold from the hips and forward. And then look up, halfway lift. Look up, take a breath, and down. Hands to the mat, right leg back, left leg back. Nice planks here. We'll stay here for a moment and just make sure that our plank and our shoulders are over our hands, and then we'll take our chin to the mat and up into upward facing dog. And then down into downward facing dog. And we're going to pedal it out. And then we're going to take the right leg between the hands again and back up into warrior pose. And breathe in up. And take a breath. And the front right leg bent. Not too far forward. You definitely want to go over the toes, but because that's not good. Okay. I don't even, yeah, okay. So, and we go back down to the mat, and we take the right leg back, and down into chaturanga, and up into upward facing dog. And down into downward facing dog. Now we're going to take the left leg between the hands. Here we go, breathe in and up. And as you can see, we're going nice and slow, but it generates exactly the same amount of heat. Sometimes people can fly in and out of these poses, but they fly in and out of them. Each pose will take a breath. Each pose will be another breath. And maybe what they do is they end up where they're at a stage where they're only counting the breaths. But if you take 5 breaths in a pose, it slows the whole thing down. You're at no risk of doing yourself an injury. And my opinion is it's much better to go slow and never do yourself an injury. Okay, so we're going to take it back down and take the left leg back. We're in plank, and we're going down into chaturanga, and up into upward facing dog, and down into downward facing dog. Okay. Lads, are you warm?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Very good. Now, we're going to take feet to hands. Okay. Now we're going to stay again in this forward fold for a second. Some of these forward folds, what you end up doing is you do them on the floor. So you sit down, and then you catch maybe your toes or something, and then you try to fold onto the fronts of the legs, and see how far you can go into your breath and your stretch. So we'll just see if we can just kind of maybe take toes, or take the ankles, take the or the backs of the legs, wherever feels nice and comfortable, to just be able to take a breath or two, bend the arms, let the head fall forward, and feel all those muscles in the backs of the legs, and feel where the little bits of discomfort are in the body that you need to breathe. But breathe here. Breathe. And we're going to do a halfway lift. Look up in front, and then back down. Now we're going to roll the body back up again. Roll the body up, nice and slow. Okay. So, we're finished our sequence, but it's always nice to do just something different, just to shake it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our legs nice and wide apart here, and we're going to make sure that our toes are facing nice and forward. We're not going to have anything splaying out. Again, that is a pose, but it's a different pose. But what we're doing here is keeping everything nice and straight, nice and aligned. And we're going to again fold from the hips. Now we can see everyone there now. Okay, so now we're going to fold from the hips, nice and forward. And again, always good to use props here. Bend the legs if you need to bend the legs. And we're going to fold, 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 fold. And breathe. We're going to take the hands to the floor, and we're going to breathe. Now here's where we're going to do a little small twist. So we're going to walk our hands over to the left hand side. And we're going to just hold there for a moment. And we're going to breathe. Back to front. And then over to the right hand side. And we're going to breathe. We're using our core all the time. What takes you down in this pose, what takes you down is, we'll go back to center, what takes you down is actually your core. It's not the backs of your legs, it's the core that always, you're working on the core brings, and eventually brings the head to the mat. I say that now and I use it, yeah, my head is nowhere touching the mat, but again, like I say, you still get the benefits even when your head is not touching the mat. So there we go, we're creating loads of space in the body. And we're breathing. Okay, so we're going to come up nice and slow. Nice and slow. There we go. Hi Seamus. Hi Seamus.
How are you getting on?
Good. Good.
Some better than others.
So here we're going to do our little balance pose and then we're down on our cushion and we're finished and we're closing down then and that's where we shut off. Okay, so we're going to take our right leg back. We're going to keep our hips nice and straight as we can keep them, and bring up the legs. Okay, so it's like our airplane pose again. I'm calling it airplane. I always call it airplane. It's not called that. I don't know what it is. Some fancy name on it. There we go. So hands up, legs back. Use the floor. Use props if you need to. Balance poses are very, very difficult. I say that because I find them very difficult. And we're trying to concentrate here. And we're going to take it down. And you're supposed to breathe when you're in. I didn't really breathe that time, but keep reminding yourself, keep bringing yourself back to your breath. And then we're going to take the left leg up. We're going to look in front of us. And we're going to take our hands out. Okay, here we go again. And breathe. And breathe. And think of that foot on the mat is planted into the earth. And breathe. And breathe. Lads, this is a full body workout now. We are killing ourselves here. Okay. So up we come, and then we can pop down onto the mat, and we're going to take a little breath or two. And God, that feels really good. Now, so legs up, and we're going to take our right hand to our left knee, and we're going to do a little twist, and we're going to shut down. Okay, into Shavasana, my favorite pose. Here we go. So we're going to look to the left hand side. And we're going to breathe. And into center. Left hand to right knee, and we're going to look to the right. And back to center. Okay, so the usual. This is where we go into our Shavasana. We lie down. We think of everything melting into the mat. The most important pose, because this is where we have a moment just to think of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not the moves, nothing. Just the breath and how your body is melting into the mat. Your heart is elevated at the moment and you're just thinking, okay, so take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then you'll feel it slowly, the heart rate slowing down and back to normal. I have a cushion under my head. You don't have to have a cushion, you just lie flat on the ground. And we take a few breaths here. So we're gonna lie down for about 2 hours. Just joking. We're gonna lie down for a couple of minutes, but we're gonna say goodbye and thanks a million for joining us. Okay then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.